Hello, this is English shorthand channel and the shorthand dictation speed is 100 words per minute, which is very helpful for all types of governmental competitive exam. 5 seconds. Ready? Start. A million of people came to my meeting, and that meeting a bomb was thrown, resulting in the killing of a police inspector. The man who threw the bomb was himself wounded. Anticipating some disturbances of this kind, I had requested them at the outset that even in the event of a murder in their midst, they should remain calm and disciplined, and they did behave with discipline. Life in the big cities like Calcutta, Delhi, or Bombay would become impossible if some crowds of a few hundred people were to dislocate the normal life of millions in this manner. Here in Delhi, disturbances broke out the other day as a protest against the proposed marriage, which was entirely a private affair. Yet, this was the signal for antisocial elements in the city to start breaking the windows of the courthouse, hitting people, and generally creating trouble. If the Delhi police had not acted as they did, the trouble would have spread to other parts of the city. I shall never forget the gruesome incidents in Delhi and all over the Punjab between August and October in 1947. People who are normally law abiding were incited to participate in acts of barbarity. If, in the man of democracy, you want people to be incited to do wrong, you are welcome to it. Only it is not my conception of democracy. We have to bear in mind the conditions in India as they are today, which this bill seeks to correct. It is admittedly our duty to protect the liberty of the individual to see that it is not gravely offended against. I reaffirm my desire to secure the necessary safeguards. At the same time, we have to bear in mind the interest of the community and the country as well. Unless the state is perfect and every individual is perfect, there is always some conflict between the freedom of the individual and security of the state. In extreme cases, the state in some countries is put above everything else, above the freedom of the individuals of which it is composed. This has been done in some great countries, but it is not for me to criticize them. For my part, I cherish the freedom of the individual and I do not want that freedom to be restricted in the name of state. But if the safety of the state is at stake, the freedom of certain individual has to be curbed. After all, in times of war, every democratic country has to limit the freedom of the individual because the state is in danger. I do not mean to say that we in India are now living through times of war. In fact, many honorable members of the opposition have remarked on the relatively stable conditions that now obtain in this country. Probably, if they had been picking the another contest they might not have so rapidly, granted the fact that we have progressed. In fact, before now, they blamed us for lack of progress. In this particular case, it shoots them to had us a few decades for maintaining stability and security in the country. To return to the subject, the essential question remains as to where the line should be drawn between the interests of the state and those of the individual. This will admittedly vary with the circumstances. In times of war, the demarcation should be in favor of the state, and in peace, it should be to the advantage of the individual without, of course, endangering the states of the state. For the state can at no time to be ignored. Honorable members opposite have referred to the practice in UK in this matter. Perhaps rightly so, because truly enough we have fashioned our parliament after the British parliament. Even our laws are largely similar. I must, however, point out that there is a vital difference between our country and that compact little island with centuries old traditions of disciplined behavior by the citizens and, above all, the rule of law. I admire her people for it, but only a few years have elapsed since our country emerged from servitude. I believe that we have gone forward in spite of the various obstacles that have impeded our progress. More than anything else, we have held together as a people, and all the efforts of the House and our government should continue to be directed towards the maintenance and promotion of social cohesion. There are vociferous forces at work in our country, such as the demand for linguistic provinces, for instance, that make for disunity and tend to pull apart our integrated structure. We have to unite against such forces, for they can overwhelm our country. In the context of this danger, a measure like this we feel is essential. Some honorable members pointed out that the bill had not undergone many changes as it passed through the select committee. While it is true that not very many changes were made, important changes were affected.